Welcome back, everyone. This is Monkey Business, so welcome to our channel. I'm Nick, aka Dad.
I'm Addie, aka the Monkey.
And you know, we like to talk about all things automotive. Recently, we've got our new Bronco behind us. It's a 2021 Outer Banks with the Sasquatch package on it, and we've been doing some upgrades to it. And this week, we wanted to show you an upgrade and how to install it. There's some videos out there on how to install this item, but definitely something that will help with
cleaning.
Well, keeping it clean.
Yeah, keeping it clean.
What else?
Rocks.
Rocks. Yeah, rock chips. Everybody has talked about the rock chips, especially in the Sasquatch tires.
Yeah.
Those things are pretty wide, and those grooves hold those rocks and then fling them once you get to like highway speed. So we've heard them pinging off the bottom of our running board since it's in Outer Banks, from underneath the vehicle. So yeah, wanted to show you this. We're gonna start installing the Rokblokz Bronco Mudflaps. And the reason we picked the Rokblokz, it's been a while since they've talked about having them, but they're removable. And it's really easy to take them off. And I was excited to see how easy it was, and it's super easy. So we're going to start the install. We'll show you how to put the Mudflaps together, and then show you how to put them together onto the vehicle. So let's get this started. All right, so like Addie said, we kind of got tired of, having so much mud up on the side of the Bronco. It's clean today, but we've had so much, and I'll tell you, with mud terrains, I know you're going to get rocks that are going to fling out from under. I know we've all had it so far. You hear the pinging going underneath when you're going down the highway. Just pulling into your driveway or pulling out, you hear those rocks. We're fortunate enough that we have the Outer Banks, so it has the running boards on the side, which has helped a lot with the rock chips that I know many of you have had. So to combat this, I've been waiting for a while, and finally was able to get a set of the Rokblokz removable mud flaps. I love these things just for the simple fact that you can remove them. They do fit with the Sasquatch and even non-Sasquatch packages. It does require you to remove those rear crash bars on the front, and then they have mounting spots on the back. We've all been waiting for something that was better than what Ford was coming out with, which was not a whole lot really, unless you wanted to buy those gator backs, which I think they were like almost $400 and something for just one set. So that would just cover your back, and you'd have to buy another $400 and something set for the front. So, and then just mounting was such a problem to find a place, especially on the Sasquatch packages. Where do you mount them on the back? So I'm glad that Rokblokz came out with this. So to kind of get started, they send you the flaps. Now we did, I believe if I remember right, I did the extra large mud flaps. And then you have to tell them you've got no crash bars, which mine being a Sasquatch doesn't have those. So you've got those. I still love that they send out the little Smarties in all of their packaging. You've got your bracketry that comes with it, along with this other box that has a lot of the metal bracketry in there. So we've got another pack here, plus of course your bolts, and then washers, nuts, things like that. So the other thing I got to tell you, Rokblokz has a great group of customer service people. As soon as I got my set, I had a question. I don't even remember what it was, but they asked me, once you receive it, send us a picture of some of the tabs that you've got. And I sent them a picture, and they resent me new tabs. Now, I don't know if you can see these. The ones that are in the kit are all black. Looks like maybe just black metal, not really powder coated, I don't believe. But these more of a brass look to them. A little bit different construction it looks like too, just by looking at them. But yeah, I was really impressed. They decided, hey, yeah, we're gonna ship you a new one. So got those out, and I had them within a couple days. So looking forward to getting these on. So let's get to the install and show you guys how to put these things on. Okay, now that we got the bracketry done, now the nice thing is they have labeled the bags. So you have front and rear. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take their little hex head screws, and you're just gonna push them into the flap itself, and you want the Rokblokz logo out as you push them in. So we'll get that done here real quick, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, now that we have all of the flange nuts pushed in there, and I just did the other side for the front, you're going to want to take some blue thread locker and just put a little bit, just a drop in each one, just to kind of help, you know, keep these from getting, you know, loose when you're on the trails, or just out and about, hitting a pothole even. So put that in there. And then what you're gonna do is you got two different plates. One's for the Sasquatch, which actually says Sasquatch on it, and B. Then you have another one that just says Bronco A, left front. So all these plates are showing you exactly where they go. You put the A plate on first and line it up with the holes. You take your B plate and you match it up right on top. And then you start your threads, and we'll get those going right now.
Now that you have them all in there, you are going to use a 1/8 Allen key just to tighten these all down.
There we go. Now I got thread locker everywhere. Okay guys, well, it's getting a little bit late here, so with mine being a Sasquatch package, it does not have the intrusion beam here. I did have a bolt here. You're going to want to take that out because in the kit they do provide 2 more bolts, actually 4 bolts and 4 washers, and that's what you'll use to attach the bracket we put together earlier. Just make sure that the big flange is up front, because you're going to want to push this as far against that front wheel well liner as possible. So can be a little bit tricky from this angle, but I think it can be done. So give her a shot here. Like I said, you do need to kind of push back against that fender liner as much as possible here. Might be easier just to do it from the bottom here to where I can see up there a little bit better. Yeah, that fender liner does kind of get in the way here a little bit as you're trying to push in that bolt into where you can get it started threading here. It's kind of coming in at an angle. There we go. See if I can get the other one at least in there as well. That one's a lot easier. And you know, forgot my washers. Probably should put those on there first. There we go. We'll just get the other one here in just a sec. I kind of got that one started a little bit. Yep, I can feel it grabbing there. Get that one out of the way here just real quick and put the washer on it without hitting myself in the face with the bolt, hopefully. There we go. And again, that fender liner is just a little bit in the way. Keeps wanting to push back out against the bolt and then doesn't allow it to really get in there straight. Nothing like getting up and close and personal with your Goodyear Territory mud terrains here. Okay, and I brought my ratchet here. See if we can get these things snug down a little bit more here. All right, I don't want to snug them all the way down until we get kind of get this in line with where we want it at. All right, the reason it took us so long last night to get these done was it started up front really with these bolts here that you use for the mounting plate that we put together. But that back one on these Sasquatch packages, it was really the inner fender liner that was getting in the way to where I could not get a wrench on them. I was down underneath it. My wife finally came out and pushed the inner fender liner back towards the Bronco to where I can get a low profile socket on it. That socket, you want to use I use a 3/4. There's, I mean, probably a millimeter as well, but the 3/4 seemed to work. So I was underneath, and you don't have to go through another, they have, you know, they're already threaded at the bottom, so you just got to put the bolt through with the washer that they provide in the packaging, and then that goes on. And it really turned out well. These front ones, there's the 2 thumb screws right here and there. You go straight through it right into the bracket back there. And yeah, it really came out really nice looking. Let me back up here. But yeah, those thumb screws, you just unscrew those and fits real well, I thought. You got obviously have a little bit of a gap there between the flare itself, but they come down pretty deep. All right, guys, now that we're done with the front one, you're just going to do that same procedure on the other side. I definitely recommend putting this stuff together before you just get down the ground. So the back flaps, you will have a bag that says rear on it, so those will be all your parts for this. And you will get the back flap itself, which actually says, you know, left rear, so this one says LR at the end. You'll also have 3 other plates that come with this one as well. A, left rear, B, left rear, and then C, left rear. You're going to start off with the A, and what we're going to do is we're going to have the writing face down, and we're going to put some of those washers in, just like we did on the front, and get that started. So here we go. Now these do
fit in a little bit more snugly, I think, than the front ones do, so you may have to push down a little bit harder to get those to really seat in to the holes in the back. Now, you can also use, a hammer. I'm going to use these adjustable pliers to really pull this down and in there a little bit more. But so yeah, we're just going to go around the perimeter here to get these done here. And again, they get a little tight, so just gotta push them in there.
And they will pop in there just with a little bit of coercion here. You definitely want to make sure you have them started at least a little bit with your fingers before you try to press them in, because if you don't, they tend to get a little wobbly here, and then it's really hard to get them really seated in there. Once you get them kind of started, you can really just kind of push down with your fingers to get them the rest of the way.
Last one for this one here. Last one being in the middle is a little bit tougher, so I'm just going to use the back side of my pliers here, just kind of push that in, put a little bit of pressure in there.
Just make sure it's seated in there nice, and then don't forget, as always with these, we're going to put a little thread locker, just a little dab in each one here, just to make sure that with the vibration of driving down the road or on the trail that these won't, or hopefully don't, come loose. Definitely don't want to be leaving parts on the trail if we don't have to. Okay. All right, let's get to this next part. Now that we have our thread locker in there, what you're going to do is you want the Rokblokz emblem to be facing up, and you're going to align this so that what you just pressed in is facing down, and you're going to align it with the rest of the holes here. Let's move this out of the way, and get this aligned just so. And then from there, you'll put your B plate on top of that, and you'll align all the holes. And then your C plate is a little bit shorter than your B plate, and you're going to want to have a little overlap. So you're going to have 3 screws that are longer that go through the C, B, all the way to the A plate here. So you want to make sure you don't use the wrong ones. And then just start threading them in. Don't forget, you may have to press down a little bit to get them started, just because you're pressing down through a couple pieces here. So it may take a little bit just to get them started by pressing down here. And don't forget, sometimes you may have to hold the back just a little bit, just because the other side may start to press out as you start pushing in. So all right, now that we have all those in, let's just go around and tighten them up with our Allen wrench here. And you just want to pull those in a little bit. You don't have to go crazy with tightening these down. You want to tighten them down just enough, make them snug, is what I would probably call it. But you don't want to really deform the plastic because you've tightened them up so much. So yeah, once you start to see it really pull down into the plastic, that may be just a hair too much. So you might want to just back that out just a hair, just to be sure that it doesn't cause any problems down the road. You want these things to last as long as possible, and if you get them deformed a little bit, may not last as long as they could. All right, so getting on to the last couple here. I would say once you feel it get snug, maybe just 1/8 of a turn more. Whoop. We just flung our Allen wrench over here into the grass. Thank goodness I could see it. And we'll just give that a little bit. Check our last one that we kind of started with. Make sure it's a little bit more snug. I just wanted to kind of get them started to keep them all together. And there you go. So you start with your A plate, face the etching towards the plate when you're ready to seat it on, and then you start with B and C, and then just repeat for the other side. So there's your back flap. Let's get on to mounting these onto the vehicle. And then on the back, here's what we came into last night. You're going to use a 15 millimeter on the back ones here. And let me get down here. Get back on my back here underneath. So you've got that body mount, but then you have those two bolts. You're going to reuse those nuts. They don't give you another one, but they do give you those washers, you see. You're going to want to use a deep socket to get to those. Like I said, it's a 15 millimeter. I tried to use my impact on it, but I could not get it up in there just because there's not a lot of space. So you're going to put that on, then you're going to put a bracket that's mounted to that little C-shaped bracket that then comes around, and you can kind of see it back here, and then attach it with 2 more thumb screws. So that was really nice. And then that's what they kind of look like here. Let me back this out. But again, gives you some nice coverage. And I thought for really extra time, but hopefully this will give you some idea of some of the things you need to do. So a 3/4 socket for the front bolts they give you, 15 millimeter for the stock bolt or nuts that they give you to put over those bolts. But yeah, need some extra room on those front ones. The back ones is more of just making sure you had a deep socket for those. But yeah, overall, I think it came out nice looking. Looking forward to driving this and seeing how well it keeps the dirt off of it. It's a little dirty right now, but so far so good. All right, well, that definitely took a little bit longer than I expected. I went in late into the night, as you saw in the front, and then ended up finishing up the next day with the rear section. So yeah, I don't think it'll take that long now that you can kind of see some of the hiccups that can come along with putting these things on. So
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully it's been informational and showing you how and what you need to get this install done a little bit quicker than I did. So appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you have a blessed day, and we've got some more exciting videos coming up, so stay tuned.
Bye.